And as you saw, first printout, a very large start to the evening, 69%. So I want to say congratulations on that. But also wanted to talk a little bit about what you were telling this crowd here at the Japanese Cultural Center, where all the Democrats have gathered, those that are running and those that are just supporting those that are running, that there still is a lot of work left to do.
Well, this is when the work starts, and I think especially in the Congress, I think what people said on the mainland is, you know, they're sick of the gridlock. I think they expressed their frustration by electing a Republican Senate. Now, I wasn't hoping for that result, but I think the message is really clear. They want us to go back to the United States Senate and the United States House and try to get some work done. I think we can make progress in the appropriations area. That's an area where there used to be bipartisan consensus, so that's one of the places where I'm going to focus. I've been exchanging text messages with a couple of my Republican colleagues, just reaching out, and I tried to do it before we knew the results and said, hey, however this works out, let's talk and let's start to collaborate on legislation next week.
It does make it a lot more difficult, though, for you as well as for Mazie, there being Democrats in a Republican-controlled Senate. So how else will this change the dynamics there with the people that you've been working with in a different relationship now?
Well, I think you always need 60 votes in the Senate to get meaningful legislation passed. So no matter who's in charge, you need a Republican and Democratic coalition. Now, the difference is we were always negotiating for a few Republicans. Now they'll be negotiating with us. When they need something to be passed, they'll be looking for, you know, 5 or 6 of us to be their bipartisan dance partners. It changes the sort of dynamics, but the basic premise is this. If we're going to get anything done for the country, we've got to do it together.
You talked a little bit about making contact or talking with people ahead of the election before this was even out there. How much does it help that you've already been there working with these fellow senators for this time now? Well,
having those relationships really does help, and it's not just with the Democrats in the Senate, but it is with the Republicans, and there are some who are running for president and, you know, really want to play to the extremes. But there are a number of members of the Senate who really want to get work done and who are accustomed to doing things like a highway bill, a defense bill, maybe even doing criminal justice reform. So there are some opportunities for us to work together, and I'm anxious to get back to work.
All right. Thanks for talking with us, and again, congratulations. All right, we're going to go ahead and send things back to you in the studio, but once again, Japanese Cultural Center, there's a lot going on with Democrats running for office, coming by to show their support, as well as former state leaders also here as well. We're going to be talking with some more of them throughout the night. But right now, we'll send things back to you in the studio.
Right. Thanks, Paul. A little snicker there when he talked about Republicans needing the Democrats there.
Well, yes. I mean, there is this incredibly well-intentioned attempt to say that somehow accommodation and compromise is going to come out of the next Senate and the next House of Representatives. And frankly, there doesn't seem to be any reason why you should expect this. It's not. You don't get power in the Senate right now by being an accommodator. That's not how the Senate is set up anymore. It's set up with 2 parties who are very disciplined, and so for the most part, you have to work hard to be a good senator, but it's really not about going across the aisle very much. And I don't think that the Republicans are going to be any more interested in doing this kind. They're going to have some other kind of accommodation problems because there's going to be a very strong set of rivalries within the Republican Party in the Senate. That's where you're going to have to see how accommodation works. But overall, I'm afraid it's going to be pretty much the way it has been.